I did.
Oh, yeah. What did you do for your birthday?
Worked.
Oh.
Studied the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Did you at least have a good dinner?
I always have a good dinner, but not yesterday. I was waiting for the cameras, guys. You guys good? All right. Well, the only thing we got injury related is Nate Lamont, as you guys know, about the quad, and then Kyle was dealing with a little hamstring, so we got them limited. Other than that, we are really healthy and doing really well. With that, I'll open up questions for you guys.
Yeah, Coach, could you discuss the process over the last few days of trading Tyler Heineke and yesterday signing Nate Peterman as a third quarterback?
Yeah, we traded Tyler. Good situation for him. I mean, you said Tyler, but I just repeated it. We traded Taylor, and good situation for him. Good situation to go out there and potentially be the 2 and do some really good things for those guys. And for us, it was about picking up a third quarterback to get trained and ready to go. Obviously Mike's our second. We got Kurt ready to go. Get another guy in this building to get them prepped and ready to go. Nate is a veteran, has been around a little bit, done a bunch of things, so get him in here and get him prepped up and ready to go.
And just Kurt, the overall, since he's been here, he's ready to go now, the game's here, what's that whole process been like onboarding a veteran like that, and who's headed into, 13th, 14th year in the league?
Kurt was really a major part of our fabric anyway before we got him, just kind of understanding a little bit about our offense and some of the similarities that he's run in his past. He's really a fit from a culture standpoint when it comes to the person and the ethos that you want to go out there and get. So it really hadn't been difficult at all. It's been more, catching up to some of Kurt's things and some of the things that he does well, some of the things that we do well, some of the things that we can't do. All of those things, just the process of learning your identity with the new quarterback. And it has been a lot of fun just throughout the whole process. Him right from the beginning, from OTA days up until now, to the training camp, to get ready to play our first game, and we're here. And I can't wait to get out there with him.
It's going to be the first time that Kirk is, going to be hit, and, there were some worries OTAs for training camp is going to be guys around him on the ground. Are you comfortable with where he's at right now as far as, Sunday goes and getting hit?
It's hard to say that you're worried about Kirk getting hit in his 13-year career. The guy's done it a bunch within the deal, but definitely there's always some stuff with injury. But, guys in this game are built for that. That's why they're a different breed, different animal, different type of guys to go out there and play this game, and he's definitely one of those. I've known Kurt from 2012 as a very young, tough guy, ready to stand there and take a hit at any time. And I don't think that's one of the things that requires to be practiced when you're a quarterback. So I got a lot of respect for that guy and his toughness.
So obviously you didn't mention on the injury list, like he's a full go, nothing, no limited.
No, he's been full go for a while now. We said it was a natural limitation with the OTA days of staying away from everybody stand up. And then once training camp started, he's really been full go. I've kind of protected him a little bit with the quick whistles for no scrambles, but other than that, man, he's full go. I wouldn't send him out there limited versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm lying, I would, but.
Does Kirk's demeanor just around the building change now that it's a game week?
It's pretty early in that process. We've only had our meetings. I'm not sure if he can change his process too much. He's pretty rigid, he's pretty stern, and he's pretty into his ways. He's pretty serious, pretty locked in. He's pretty dialed that whether we're talking about walkthrough, whether we're talking about OTA days, whether he's talking about a scrimmage, he's a pretty dialed in guy. So I'm not sure if it would change too much. I'm excited to watch him go through the process. I'm excited for him to get us going into practice and for him to lead us. It'll be fun.
Would you say
our new captain?
Would you say it's kind of true that early in the season, especially in week one, that defenses kind of have the advantage in general over the offenses just because of the natural way that, building up to this point in the season works out, or not?
It's tough, man. It's like that's usually what you say about practice. Usually the defense has the advantage the first couple of days because there's so much information going in there. But really, it's about your process. It's about knowing who you are and being the most important thing. And then more importantly, knowing what you can't do. So, like, when you talk about building your identity, we'll definitely get a chance to go out there and find out what that is this weekend. And I look forward to that. So you just never know. It's all about preparation. It's all about all those things. And I'm certainly, hopefully, I'm feel well about that at the end of the week.
With your captain process, did you pick or the players voted?
Players-
Paper ballots, electronic?
Players, it wasn't electronic. Players vote, old school style, your style. It was a handout pieces of paper.
Okay.
Tally those things and let the team speak. And we voted. Then I had to pick, had to take some out. You had a lot of captain votes in this team, and you had to figure out what number you had to cut it off at and decide how many you get and things of that nature. And we got to 4.
You mentioned Kyle, the hamstring. Anything to be concerned about there?
Not for me. Went out there and practiced the other day for us and did a really good job. And just trying to be transparent about all that stuff. You know, we had issues like that around here before, so just being transparent. You know, he had a hamstring a couple weeks ago or whatever it was, and really hadn't affected him too much. He's been out there practicing, doing just about everything, and we're ready to go.
This is more of a general question, but just how does the week feel different now that you are preparing for a game that matters?
Everything. This is the coach's time, man. This is our favorite time of the year. Actually going out there and preparing and being part of the game plan and being a part of offense, defense, and special teams, and really determining what it takes to go out there and win this football game is the most important thing. So for us, it's everything. You move from evaluator to the person that's got to go out there and find ways to win.
Obviously, you weren't here when Arthur Smith was here, but do you feel, I don't know, a little bit of a, I don't know, just because you are facing the former coach that went here, does it feel any different, or do you hear it from the players at all, like a little extra motivation?
I'm probably a little different when it comes to that. Like, I've been coaching for a long time. I'm old. Turned 48 yesterday, and like I've been around a long time, man. I've been fired, I've been hired, and I don't feel any resentments towards Arthur Smith or any of the guys. And I don't really think he will either. I think he's really just kind of go to get his next win. I think when you get to the point that you just kind of focus, and then, you know, I think you just kind of focus on getting a win, whoever you're going against. You know, will he get a game ball if he wins? I'm sure Mike could give him one. You know, but like, I don't think we look at it that way. I think we look at it as going out there competing against our guys. You know, but you know, hopefully we're coming across as we're coming across as the winners and the victors, and that'd be the most important thing.
We've been talking about guys coming back from injury. Grady Jarrett coming back to a game. How excited are you to just turn him loose and watch him do his thing again?
I'm really excited for Grady. You know, that emotional spiel he gave to you guys when you talked about it the first time, I thought was excellent. And it's just been how he's prepared and practiced since that whole process. So just being able to watch him go out there and play, you know, no different than Kurt. You know, like, I think the question was, am I worried about it? It's more, is you're excited for him. You know, both of those guys, you know, probably would be the best way to word that thing. When you're watching guys come off injuries or watching the guys add their new teams, we talk about Matthew Judon and Simmons, it's just like the excitement for those guys to be a part of their new culture.
How much do you let yourself feel that excitement as a coach? Because you're worried about obviously preparing for the Steelers, but at the same time you're excited. It's game one for you.
I'm human. It's emotional for us, man. It's like it's an exciting game. I think it's okay. I think it's okay to show your emotions with your guys. I think it's okay to show your emotion just in general. And I love these dudes, man. I'm not going to lie to you. So, like, it's a lot of fun for me to go watch these guys go out there and compete. Pretty cool.
Do you think your identity was determined during the preseason, or is it ever evolving?
It's evolving. It'll come out on Sunday. And I love that question. It's one of my favorite. But, like, the guys got to go determine that. You know, like, coaches try to always tell you what their identity is going to be. But in my opinion, it's going to be formed by your guys and the people that sit in those seats when you get up there and give that first team speech.
What do you make of the Steelers defense? It's a unit that kind of seems overlooked because of the quarterback situation going on, but it's definitely a very deep veteran defense. I mean, they just re-signed Cam Hayward, so
Sure.
there's a lot to be aware of.
The history of the group is phenomenal, and that's just the nature of the beast when you're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers steel curtain. But we don't have to play ghosts. We just got to play the guys that are on their team now, and they certainly got a bunch of good guys that you got to worry about. When you're talking about Cam being re-signed, or you're talking about those 2 edge rushers, or you're talking about that safeties, that's just phenomenal. And I do know their names. I know me and Mike Tom like to use the phrase that their name was Gray Faces, but you know those guys' names. You know a bunch of those guys on that team. They got a couple additions on that football team that you know are going to be really well, and you got to go out there and prepare for those guys and prepare to go play against those guys in a system that's been well documented for a very long time.
Where do you feel Justin Simmons is in just like getting his workout in? Do you think that he can be ready to get some reps on Sunday?
He's a very smart, locked-in veteran. He's been doing this for a very long time. He comes from a similar style of play that we want to go out there and do. There's a lot of carryover for him. He'll be able to go out there and contribute from a performance standpoint. I'm feeling really confident because this is a guy that knows how to prepare his body for these type of activities. He knows what it requires to go out there and play in a 60 to 70 play game or whatever it requires. So I feel confident in that, but I also feel confident in the people that's going to play with them and to have the ability to be able to get all those guys in the game whenever needed and possible. And I'm also really confident in the guys being really transparent and honest with me and his coaches in order to let us know exactly what we need to do in order to make this thing happen.
To that end, to follow up, Justin joining Jesse and kind of the partnership that they have, these are two guys who probably are, you probably consider them the alphas of the defense and the way that they carry themselves, the leaders of the defense. So how do you see their relationship, not just kind of having the respect of what they know each other can do, but working together to complement each other?
They got so much respect for each other. They had some time together in the Pro Bowl. They got a bunch of guys to fight in this defense for the alpha. We talked about Grady. We talked about David. You can talk about, Landman. You can talk about Nate. You got some guys who got some real alpha-type personalities that they're going to have to fight for. But it's really cool to watch all those guys get together, collaborate, and really go out there and be able to establish what Terrence's been trying to get me to say since I got here about that identity, right? And, that'd be something that those guys will go out there and establish together. And I think the communication at a high level, I think going out playing fast, physical, and free, which Jimmy talks about a lot, I think those guys are really to go out and just explode.
Whether it's preparation or the outcome of the game, do you think week one sets the tone for the season?
No, it's week one. I think you can't get over excited about the wins, and you can't go over the boat when it comes to what happens if you don't win. I think you got to go out there and make it a process for yourself, and there's always a learning process in either situation. And I think if we can respect our process and go through that as much as possible, I think that'll give us the ultimate focus in what we need to go out there and get the goals that we want to get accomplished.
As a coach, how do you know the type of team that you have when pretty much no one played in the preseason? Is it just something you know in practice that you see that obviously we don't get to see at all? You
got to trust your practice habits. You got to trust what you do. You got to trust those practices we had versus Miami. You got to trust those practices we had versus each other. You got to trust our mock scrimmage. You got to trust the ability in our performance team and our ways to develop those guys. You got to trust in the fact that our guys can go out there and coach those guys and absolutely detail the work that they need to get done and how we need to get it done from a performance standpoint, from a technical standpoint, from a fundamental standpoint, from a belief, And I believe in my guys, and I can't wait, man. It's been a lot of fun. I've been around it the last couple of years, and to be able to get those things done without the to mitigate injury, so to speak, from the injuries. So there's things that are unnecessary for the guys that you don't have to put out there. And there are some guys you got to put out there to find out some real answers, and we're able to do those things. So the guys that's going to go out there, they'll be ready.
Coached a game record of sorts in Aaron Donald for a couple of years. There's a game record.
Of sorts? How dare you?
Sorry, we're tracing words.
Jesus, I did not say that, Aaron.
TJ Watt is a game record.
Yes.
How do you balance letting them, keeping them in check versus still doing what you want to do offensively?
You cannot let them go wreck the game. There's no doubt about that, right? But you cannot let them you play fearful. You got to go out there and be ready to go out there and execute the game plan and be very smart and detailed, and that's what the coaches come in to help those things happen. And that's what I mean about the transparency and the absolute honesty from players and coaches alike to be able to go out there and identify those problems. And I think it's up to players to go out there and fix those problems. And definitely that guy you said of sorts, Aaron, he was a game wrecker. And you said that, not me. No. But, TJ Watt is a game wrecker of sort. And I am not going to let him go out there and wreck the game, and that's going to be part of our plan. And he's still mad. That's what those guys do. It's but I think that's part of that is the real answer to that is the mental toughness, right? When you go play against these great players that you're going to play against every single week, is they're going to make plays. And how mentally tough is your group to bounce back and play the next snap?
You mentioned feeling that excitement. I'm curious how different that feels in this season being in that head coaching role again.
Whew. Every day is like that kind of excitement, right? Every day is my last, and every day is my first. And it's like that great feeling, man. And I got the same people I come back and talk to. I've been fortunate enough to be able to come back here and see D-Led's face again. And to be able to go and work in those circumstances for me is just a lot of fun. And it's constant energy in everything that I do, and I love it. So, I don't know. I love it. Let me tell you, I can't wait to go play. Win Sunday.
Zach's calling his first game as an offensive coordinator officially on Sunday. I know
Sure.
you have experience calling plays, obviously, but how much have you noticed a buy-in from everyone to be on the same page as him heading into game one?
I don't know necessarily a buy-in from everyone else. I think it's a buy-in from him as well, right? You know, when you call games, you're in a constant learning and a constant situation of going out there and preparing your guys to be the very best version of themselves. And I think it's the ultimate communication going to him and him coming to them. So, like, the collaboration that you have to have within football is a very unique thing to a lot of things that we do in life. And these guys are establishing it as we go. So, like, you know, the amount of success we've been dependent upon that, and somebody's definitely getting fined in the back, one of the camera guys. But it is a lot of fun to be able to go out there and do all those things, get those things done together.
How unique is it to have somebody that really doesn't have anything on paper to show in terms of calling a game?
I don't know if it's unique. I think every time you get a first opportunity to do something, I think it's the first opportunity to do something. And that's what we'll be able to go do. We'll be able to go do it in this 32-man setting. I mean, it's 32-team setting. And I think Zach will be just excited because they've been preparing for it his whole life, you know, from when he was a quarterback coach, when he was a quality control coach, when he worked at PFF, whatever the case may be. I think he's preparing for these settings. And, like, the constant communication allows it for me to be able to breathe and accept the life that he's going to be ready to go out there and he chose.
Bailey alluded to it a bit ago. Russell Wilson's been doing it in this league for a long time. What kind of challenges will he present?
I think whoever's playing quarterback, you know, is going to present that challenge. You know, like Mike told me to prepare for Justin Fields. So we did, right? And Russell's going to be able to go out there and present the challenge he's always presented to teams. And with I'm sure, the obnoxious amount of preparation that he's put into the game plan in order to go out there and what he got to get done, right? But there are roles that guys are going to play. So expect the expected, right? And, like, that's what we'll do. So, like, we'll go out there and prepare. There's a lot of unknowns in this game just in general. It'll be a rules type of game, rules ball for them and for us, right? They're preparing for Raheem Morris and what the Rams presented, but this is the Atlanta Falcons. So let's get ready to go.
That's nice of him to tip you off about Justin.
You know, that's a nice way to make me waste time. And he's the master at it. He's conducting a master class on field, though he's not. And Field's going to show up.
Yeah, Coach, can you discuss the front office and Terry, the promotions, Ryan Pace and Tumbo being moved into, you know, spots underneath Coach Kyle?
Man, Terry got bored, man. Just start moving people around. No, I'm just kidding. No, Terry, as you know, is a very conscientious guy and always wants to put people and acknowledge the people that really deserve it. And Tumbo being promoted to what he was able to do is a long time coming. Has been a guy that I've been able to work very closely with, whether it's been with receivers or it's been defensive backs or whatever the case may be, or just a normal argument in the lunchroom, in the coffee room, whatever, right? So I got so much respect for him and what he's been able to do in this profession, and him moving up and being elevated is something that I look at and I glow. And then having the ability to be around Ryan Pace, you see that natural leader, which made him a GM in the first place, and you see some of the things that he's been able to do for our department and be able to come here after being fired like I was at one point and be able to elevate himself here within his profession and within this organization, I think is high regard for all of those guys. And the same thing goes for Kyle Smith and being able to allow some of those things be pushed off to Ryan, because it takes egoless people to be able to go out there and form winning cultures and winning organizations. And I've watched these guys do that firsthand in my couple of months here, and it's been awesome.
How do you balance, you said there's so many unknowns week one. How do you balance with that offense with, is it the Arthur here? Is it the
No
Russell
doubt.
in Seattle? Is it the Russell in Denver? Is it the Justin Fields? How do you not go kind of crazy, like overwhelmed by all that? Not that you would, but how do you sort of streamline that?
You do go crazy. You obsess over it. You obsess over it, and you prepare for it. But you try to limit it to what you think is the best decision that you can possibly make for the best moment. And, like, that's what I believe we got in place. The best decisions for this moment.
Is there anything special you do on game days? Like, I don't know if you're
No.
a superstitious person. Do you do anything to ground yourself, to stay in the moment? You said kind of when the national anthem hit.
That's my deal.
That's it? Okay.
It's like I got no special routines. I don't know, I'm pretty loose just in general, but the games are awesome. That's what you coach. That's why you coach. You know, that's why you play. You know, I love practice, but man, I'd be remiss to tell you I did love the games. I love these things.
Anything else? All right, thanks, y'all.
All right, guys.